Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a beautiful and interesting coin, the 2007 Idaho State Quarter, marking the year 1890 when Idaho officially joined the United States. This particular coin has the Philadelphia Mint Mark P and comes in uncirculated condition, though it has a few light scratches from handling or storage. Even with those marks, it's still a collectible piece of American history. And today we'll take a look at its features, history, and what it's worth in today's auction market. The Idaho Quarter was released in 2007 as part of the final series of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program. The design on the reverse shows a striking image of a peregrine falcon, wings spread wide, soaring proudly above an outline of the state of Idaho. Beneath the falcon are the words Esto Perpetua, which means, may it endure forever. The obverse, of course, carries the traditional portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The P mint mark below the motto, In God We Trust, shows that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This coin is made from a copper nickel-clad composition, weighing about 5.67 grams and measuring 24.3 millimeters in diameter. The edge has the standard reeded pattern, which adds a bit of extra shine when the coin is in mint condition. Even though yours has some scratches, an uncirculated 2007 Idaho Quarter still keeps most of its original luster. That bright, silver-like reflection that makes these coins eye-catching to collectors. Now let's talk about value. Because the 2007 Idaho Quarter had a relatively large montage, over 300 million pieces from the Philadelphia Mint alone. Most examples in circulated condition are only worth their face value of 25 cents. However, an uncirculated example, especially one kept in a coin holder or mint set, can bring more. Typically, uncirculated pieces without major flaws can sell between 50 cents and a few dollars, depending on brightness and surface quality. With minor scratches, the price may stay near the lower end, around $1, but it's still above face value. The real excitement comes from error coins. Some Idaho quarters have been found with doubled dies, off-center strikes, or even missing clad layers. Those errors can make a big difference in auction value, anywhere from a few dollars to several hundred, depending on rarity and condition. Collectors always look for clear minting mistakes that make a coin unique. In today's auction market, a pristine, graded MS-67 or MS-68 Idaho Quarter can reach prices around $200 to $500, while the rarest certified errors can sell for several $100s or more. If your coin has just light scratches but remains bright and uncirculated, it still makes a great piece to keep, especially as part of a complete 50 State Quarters collection. So, before you spend that Idaho Quarter or toss it in a jar, take a closer look. Even small details, the shine, the edges, or an unusual strike, could make it more valuable than you expect. And remember, always handle your coins carefully. Avoid cleaning them, and store them properly to preserve their condition. Next up, tee-hee. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at a coin from the early 2000s that many people still find in their pocket, the 2000 Maryland State Quarter. This coin celebrates the year 1788, when Maryland became the 7th state to join the United States. The one we're talking about today has the Philadelphia Mint Mark P and is in uncirculated condition, though it does have a few light scratches on its surface. Let's explore its story, its details, and what it's worth in today's coin market. The Maryland Quarter was released in March 2000 as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program by the U.S. Mint. The reverse design, created by artist Tiffany & Co., features the Maryland State House, the oldest state capitol still in continuous legislative use in the country. Surrounding the dome are branches of white oak, the official state tree of Maryland, with the motto, The Old Line State, written across the bottom. It's a beautiful and symbolic design representing both Maryland's history and strength. The obverse side features the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty in God, We Trust, and quarter dollar. Right next to Washington's ponytail is the letter P, showing that this coin was minted in Philadelphia. Now let's talk about its composition and specifications. The 2000 Maryland quarter is made of a copper nickel clad over a pure copper core. It weighs about 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded edge. Uncirculated coins like this one usually retain their original mint luster. That bright, mirror-like shine that collectors love, though the scratches can reduce its eye appeal a little. When it comes to value, this coin had a very high mintage. Over 1.2 billion pieces were produced from the Philadelphia Mint alone. Because of that, most Maryland quarters in circulated condition are only worth their face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples can be worth a little more, especially if the coin has sharp details and minimal marks. In today's market, an uncirculated Maryland quarter with a few light scratches usually sells for around $1 to $2, sometimes slightly higher if it has full luster and strong strike quality. The real excitement, though, comes from rare error coins. A few Maryland quarters have been found with off-center strikes, doubled dies, or missing clad layers. These minting errors are much scarcer, and depending on the severity and condition, they can sell for anywhere between $50 and several $100s at auction. A perfect example is an off-center 2000p Maryland quarter that once sold online for over $250 because of its dramatic misalignment. If your coin is in uncirculated condition, even with light scratches, it's still a good coin to hold on to, especially if you're building a complete 50-state quarters collection. Many collectors like to include both Philadelphia and Denver mint versions for each state, and uncirculated pieces are always preferred. So, before you spend that shiny 2000 Maryland quarter, take another look at it. Check the edges, the surface, and the details of the State House dome. You never know if you might have a special strike or a hidden error coin in your hands. Next up to the 2000 Massachusetts State Quarter. This one features the D Mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Denver Mint. The coin we're looking at today is in uncirculated condition, although it has a few small scratches on its surface. Even with those marks, this coin remains a nice collector's piece, and in today's video, we'll go over its story, design, and current market value in US dollars. The Massachusetts quarter was officially released in January 2000, becoming the very first state quarter issued that year. It celebrates 1788, the year Massachusetts ratified the U.S. Constitution and joined the Union. The reverse design is simple yet powerful, featuring the image of a Revolutionary War soldier standing in front of an outline of the state of Massachusetts. The soldier represents the Minutemen, the local militia who fought in the earliest battles of the American Revolution. Above the soldier is the word Massachusetts, and below are the inscriptions, the Bay State and $2,000. The obverse side carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan. Just beside his ponytail, you'll find the small letter D, showing that the coin was minted in Denver. The coin itself is made from a copper nickel-clad composition, weighs about 5.67 grams, and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. The reeded edge gives it that classic quarter look and feel. Even though this coin is uncirculated, it has a few scratches, which slightly lowers its visual appeal, but not its overall historical charm. Uncirculated quarters typically retain their original luster, that bright silvery shine, which collectors always appreciate. Now, let's talk about its market value. The 2000D Massachusetts quarter had a very large mintage. Over 535 million coins were struck at the Denver Mint alone. Because of that, Most examples found in circulation are worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, when the coin is uncirculated, especially with full mint luster and no heavy marks, its value can rise to around $1 to $3 on average. In higher mint state grades like MS-66 or MS-67, certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, values can go up to $200 or even $400 depending on collector demand. Of course, there are rare error varieties to watch out for. Some Massachusetts quarters have been discovered with double dies, off-center strikes, or even missing clad layers. These mint errors are much scarcer and can sell from $50 up to several $100s in today's auction market, depending on the uniqueness and eye appeal of the error. If your coin is uncirculated but has minor scratches, it's still a good one to keep. It's part of the popular 50 State Quarters series, one of the most collected coin programs in U.S. history. Many collectors aim to complete all 50 designs, and having both the Denver and Philadelphia mint versions is always a plus. So before you spend your 2000D Massachusetts quarter, take another look at it. Check the edges, the shine, and any unusual features that might make it special. You never know, a small detail could make it far more valuable than just 25 cents. Next up today, we're taking a closer look at a beautiful piece from the U.S. 50 State Quarters series, the 2006 North Dakota quarter. This particular coin has the D mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Denver Mint. It's in uncirculated condition, though it has a few light scratches that came from handling or storage. Even so, this coin still shines with its original luster and carries an amazing design that tells the story of North Dakota's natural beauty and history. The North Dakota quarter was officially released on August 28, 2006. It celebrates the year 1889, not 1789, when North Dakota became the 39th state of the United States. The reverse design of this coin is absolutely stunning. It shows two American bison grazing on the Great Plains, with the sun rising over the Badlands in the background. This design beautifully represents the state's strong connection to nature and wildlife. The words North Dakota, 1889, and 2006 are engraved around the top, while E pluribus unum appears near the bottom. The obverse side features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and modified slightly for the State Quarters program. To the right of Washington's ponytail, you can see the small letter D, which identifies the Denver Mint. This coin is made of a copper nickel-clad composition over a pure copper core. It weighs about 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge, just like all modern U.S. quarters. Now let's talk about value. The 2006 D North Dakota quarter had a very large mintage. Over 359 million pieces were produced, so it's quite common in circulation. Circulated coins are generally worth only their face value of 25 cents, but uncirculated examples like this one can be worth more, depending on their luster, color, and how many scratches they have. In general, an uncirculated 2006 D quarter with light marks sells for around $100 to $400 in today's collector market. If the coin is in mint state condition graded MS-66 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, its value can rise to around $150 to $300. The real value jump happens when an error or variety is involved. Some rare North Dakota quarters have been discovered with off-center strikes, double dies, or missing clad layers. These error coins are highly collectible, and depending on how dramatic the mistake is, they can sell for anywhere from $50 to several $100s in auctions. There are even examples of die cracks and extra metal flaws that have sold online for premium prices due to their unique appearance. Even with a few scratches, your uncirculated North Dakota D-Mint quarter is worth keeping. especially if you're completing a full 50 state quarters collection. Coins from this series are still very popular among both beginner and experienced collectors because they capture so much American history and art in a single design. So, before you spend your 2006 D North Dakota quarter, take another look at it under good light. Check for any unusual markings, color changes, or striking errors. Who knows? You might have a rare variation sitting right in your collection. Next up, we're taking a closer look at another amazing piece from the U.S. 50 State Quarters program, the 2001 Kentucky State Quarter. This coin celebrates the year 1792, when Kentucky officially became the 15th state to join the Union. The one we're talking about today carries the P mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. It's in uncirculated condition, though it has a few light scratches. Still, it remains a bright and beautiful coin worth keeping an eye on in today's collector market. The Kentucky Quarter was released on October 15, 2001, as the final state quarter issued that year. The design on the reverse side is one of the most elegant and detailed in the entire series. It features the famous Federal Hill Mansion, better known as My Old Kentucky Home, with a horse standing behind a wooden fence in the foreground. This image perfectly captures the state's deep connection to horse racing and historic landmarks. Around the edge, you'll find the inscriptions Kentucky, 1792, 2001, and the state motto, My Old Kentucky Home. On the obverse side, as usual, is the classic portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. Right beside Washington's ponytail, you'll see the small P mint mark showing that it was produced in Philadelphia. The coin is made from a copper nickel clad over a solid copper core, weighs about 5.67 grams, and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded edge that gives it that classic quarter texture. Even though your coin is uncirculated, a few scratches are common, especially when coins are stored loosely or handled without gloves. The good news is that minor marks usually don't affect the overall collector value too much unless they're deep or distracting. Uncirculated coins still have their original mint luster, that shiny, reflective finish that coin collectors love to see. Now let's talk about value. The 2001 P Kentucky Quarter had a high mintage. Over 353 million coins were made at the Philadelphia Mint. Because of that, most circulated examples are only worth their face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated pieces like yours can bring a bit more in the collector market. Typically, a 2001 P Kentucky Quarter in uncirculated condition with light scratches is worth around $100 to $300. If the coin is nearly flawless and graded at a high mint state level, like MS66 or MS67 by PCGS or NGC, it could be worth $200 to $400, sometimes more depending on eye appeal and demand. Rare errors can raise the value dramatically. A few Kentucky quarters have been discovered with striking errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or missing clad layers. These unusual coins have sold at auction for anywhere from $50 up to several $100s, depending on the error's severity and condition. Collectors are always looking for coins with something special or unusual about them. So, before you spend that 2001 Kentucky Quarter, take a close look under good lighting. Check the details on the horse, the mansion, and the lettering for anything unusual. Even with a few scratches, an uncirculated example is a nice coin to keep, especially as part of a complete 50 state quarters collection. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy learning about the value of modern U.S. coins and spotting rare finds, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next one. Keep collecting, keep searching, and maybe your next quarter could be worth a lot more than just 25 cents.